Anthony Davis, you guys take a 3-1 lead here. You and LeBron have kind of taken turns, taking things over for one another. You made a couple of huge plays down the stretch, 20 rebounds, that huge and one. What's it been like playing with LeBron? What did he do down the stretch?
Yeah, we got that chemistry. Obviously, tough performance for me tonight on the offensive end. And he just took over down the stretch. Got us a bucket to go into overtime. D-Lo with 2 huge threes to hit us back in the game to cut it to 1. Dennis playing through, his pain. Austin, Rui, all our guys, man. It was a good team effort. This team not going to go away. And it was a must-win game for us. And we played well down the stretch and just covered for one another.
You mentioned the struggle that you had on the offensive end tonight. What were you trying to do to get through that, and what did you see as the reasons behind it?
Man, just keep playing. You miss all the shots you don't take. I mean, I'm going to keep shooting, make or miss as the team wants me to do. That's what I have to do, continue to be aggressive, and that kind of open up everything for everyone else. And, when it counted, got some tip-ins to go ahead, free throw line, even though I missed the one. Some rebounds, just keep playing, man. You never know what can change a game, and, offensive rebound, D-Lo hit a 3. That got us going. So just keep playing and whatever it takes to win, just having the will to win.
It's a tough, physical Grizzlies team, AD. You mentioned not getting a lot going offensively, but defensively it was there for you as a team. Is that why you won the game?
Absolutely. We got stops. Once again, holding the team who can score at will to 111 points. And, we just fought, man. We battled. We battled. And that's it, man. Defense is our what we lean our hats on, and we got it done defensively tonight. Baines got it going. It was Ja last game, but we overcame it and just kept pushing.
You need one more win to get out of this series. What's going to be the key?
The defense again, and a better offensive performance for me. But we're going to keep fighting. We know it's tough to win there. We know that we can win there. But they're gonna come out desperate and hungry, and we gotta match that and surpass that, especially in a tough environment.
All right, thanks, Anthony.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, guys. Brez, we are going to come to you, but I also want to show you these numbers as Anthony Davis walks off the floor.
Catch your breath from that one. What stands out the most from the end of the fourth quarter and on into overtime that made the difference for you down the stretch?
Just the way we attacked each possession on both sides of the ball. We had a next play, refuse to quit mentality. I'm so proud of our guys, man, the way we fought. We've told them since day one, we want to be the most competitive, together ball club for 48 minutes or however long it takes. And today it took 53. But again, us just figuring out a way, finding a way. Everybody's pulling in the same direction. And shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies, man, a hell of a ball club. Hell of a ball club. We knew we were going to have our hands full with those guys facing a deficit. And so, we had some moments in the game that weren't too pretty. But again, we just kept chipping away possession by possession. Didn't get discouraged, didn't fall apart. Again, had some unfortunate segments. But for the most part, guys came together and dug our heels in the sand when it came time to make the right plays.
Darvin, I'm not sure how often you want LeBron taking charges like that when I'm on the court, but can you talk just about his will to win tonight and doing all of the little things that he did?
He understands the timing of everything. The known of what happened yesterday and the unknown of tomorrow. It makes him even more entrenched in today, into the moment. And all of his travels, all of the phenomenal things he's accomplished, again, he still has that passion, that grit to want to be on top and to want to put his team in position the right way to be successful. And that's what you saw, 20 rebounds, 15 defensive rebounds, the plays, him communicating with the coaches, him communicating with his teammates, trying to figure out not his way or somebody else's way, but the best way for us to go about, giving ourselves a chance to win. And, that's just who he's been his entire career. That's who he's been, all about making the right play, whether it's for himself or someone else. Understand that in order for us to get all of our other guys to do and make the right plays and sacrifice themselves, he has to be at the top of that list, and that's what those charges represented. You know, him doing whatever it takes to put us in the position to succeed.
Dan.
Darvin, after game 2, way back here. After game 2, AD said that if I play like this, we can't win. How did you guys survive an off night from him offensively? And then secondly, you mentioned LeBron's sort of his will to win, 80 huge baskets, I think a tip, and that kind of hustle play to start overtime. How big was that for him to get something out of tonight?
Those are huge. And, you know, no matter what happens in the game, you got to continuously look forward. You got to look forward to the next possession. As long as there's possessions left in the game, you know, you cry, you moan over certain things that's not going your way. And that frustration, that stress can bleed into 3, 4, 5 of the next plays. So you got to have a short memory in terms of things that are happening. Obviously, and specifically the negative things that you may experience during the course of a game and a playoff game. And he just kept fighting through. And, you know, other guys had to step up and chip in. You know, we saw Bron in his closing performance just doing everything on both sides of the ball. But I got to give a huge shout out again to D'Angelo Russell. I mean, we were flailing at best offensively, and he was able to catch fire. And, man, he put us on his back offensively and put us back in position to have a chance to close the gap, eclipse it, and walk away with the win. You know, if D'Lo doesn't play the way he played, we don't win this game.
Mark.
Hey, Darvin, another one on 80. What's the medical staff said on how he's been hanging in with his hip issues and all that?
Well, he's hanging in there, man. You know, it's definitely hurting, but it's something that's not, you know, something that's going to keep him out. We just have to manage it the best we can, and it's constant around-the-clock treatment.
Darvin, you just mentioned D'Lo, but those 3 threes in the middle of the fourth before he fouled out, how critical was that stretch of the game? And he had kind of been having a quiet game up to that point, and then he unleashes with those 3.
It was huge. You know, he laughs and we joke. You know, it's like he said, I can miss 5 in a row and I can go turn around and make 10 in a row. And I was actually thinking about that as he was knocking them down. But, you know, just him just staying ready to be aggressive, staying ready in attack mode. We need that, just like we needed Vando's energy early. And Vando knocked down a couple of corner threes. You know, his presence, his activity on Ja, it's obviously not an easy matchup by any stretch of the imagination. And Dennis, his performance defensively with Ja. I mean, we just got contributions from all over the place. And, you know, D'Lo, again, right at the top of that list, along with Bron and several others, that allowed us to get in a position to come out on top.
Hey, Darvin, even after all this time, do you find yourself amazed at LeBron? Do you ever say wow while you're watching him?
Oh, absolutely. But at the same time, we can always get better. And when we break down our film, we see things during the point in the game, the clips we watch at halftime. You know, he's not perfect. You know, sometimes there's breakdowns, but at the end of the day, he's a guy that can quickly recalibrate and not make the same mistake twice. And so, and some of it is fatigue. I mean, just you know, we're pushing them hard. They're playing more minutes. You know, obviously overtime game. But this is what it's about. This is what the load management is about. You know, for these guys to be able to exert themselves at a higher level at this time of the year. But, you know, he's nothing short of amazing, man. But it doesn't surprise me. You know, if you watch him every day and see how he prepares, then you know he's putting himself in the best position to be not just available to play or to play, you know, well in stretches, but to be elite at the top of the list in terms of, you know, how he performs for his team. So, yes, it's really, really special. I don't take it for granted to be in this position.
The level of physicality in that game, kind of what it felt like, and in that context, to see LeBron in year 20, you know, get the 20 rebounds, make that big and one down the stretch, and kind of carry you guys part of the way through that OT.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the game was physical, as they all have been. But the most important or the most impressive thing to me is the 45 minutes. At his age, the way he takes care of himself and, puts the work in is a testament to, what he does every night. A lot of people would say he's not supposed to make that shot. So we like it.
Austin, you and D'Lo always support each other, compliment each other. What can you say about your running mate tonight?
A lot. I mean, he came in the fourth and made 2 back-to-back threes, maybe 3. I can't remember. But it was, I think it got to 7. I think it was like 97-90 when he checked in the game and hit 2 back-to-back threes. So anytime, he has success, anybody has success on the court, I'm happy for him. And everybody in the locker room, the main goal is to win, regardless of, percentage, all that. AD goes 4 for 13. You go see him in the locker room, you'd think he 18 for 25 and 40 points is as happy as he is. So it's just a good group of guys that, care about each other.
Nikki.
Austin, the atmosphere in this building, but also throughout the course of this season, those MVP chants for you at the line have been getting louder and louder. I guess, what does it mean to you to hear that energy and know this fan group supports you so much?
I mean, it's love. I've said many a times, I'm clearly not in the MVP race, but the way that they support me, the way I believe that they love the way that I play. I'm going to give it everything I got every night, and like I've said many a times, to play for this organization in front of these fans that, expect this. They expect us to, be in the playoffs and winning games and competing to, go all the way. But, just as far as the MVP stuff is special, it's a dream come true. And if you'd have told me that, 2 years ago, I'd have told you.
It's out the most from the end of the fourth quarter and on into overtime that made the difference for you down the stretch?
Just the way we attacked each possession on both sides of the ball. We had a next play, refuse to quit mentality. I'm so proud of our guys, man, the way we fought. We've told them since day one, we want to be the most competitive together ball club for 48 minutes or however long it takes. And today it took 53. But again, us just figuring out a way, finding a way. Everybody's pulling in the same direction. And shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies, man, a hell of a ball club. Hell of a ball club. We knew we were going to have our hands full with those guys facing a deficit. And so, we had some moments in the game that weren't too pretty. But again, we just kept chipping away possession by possession. Didn't get discouraged, didn't fall apart. Again, had some unfortunate segments, but for the most part, guys came together and dug our heels in the sand when it came time to make the right plays.
Darvin, I'm not sure how often you want LeBron taking charges like that when I'm on the court, but can you talk just about his will to win tonight and doing all of the little things that he did?
He understands the timing of everything. The known of what happened yesterday and the unknown of tomorrow, it makes him even more entrenched in today, into the moment. And all of his travels, all of the phenomenal things he's accomplished, again, he still has that passion, that grit to want to be on top and to want to put his team in position the right way to be successful. And that's what you saw, 20 rebounds, 15 defensive rebounds. The plays, him communicating with the coaches, him communicating with his teammates, trying to figure out not his way or somebody else's way, but the best way for us to go about, giving ourselves a chance to win. And, that's just who he's been his entire career. That's who he's been, all about making the right play, whether it's for himself or someone else. Understand that in order for us to get all of our other guys to do and make the right plays and sacrifice themselves, he has to be at the top of that list, and that's what those charges represented. Him doing whatever it takes to put us in a position to succeed.
Dan.
Darvin, after game 2, back here, sorry, way back here. After game 2, AD said that if I play like this, we can't win. How did you guys survive an off night from him offensively? And then secondly, you mentioned LeBron sort of his will to win, 80 huge baskets, I think a tip, and that kind of hustle play to start overtime. How big was that for him to get something out of tonight?
Those are huge. And, you know, no matter what happens in the game, you got to continuously look forward. You got to look forward to the next possession. As long as there's possessions left in the game, you know, you cry, you moan over certain things that's not going your way. And that frustration, that stress can bleed into 3, 4, 5 of the next plays. So you got to have a short memory in terms of things that are happening. Obviously, and specifically the negative things that you may experience during the course of a game and a playoff game. And he just kept fighting through. And, you know, other guys had to step up and chip in. You know, we saw Bron in his closing performance just doing everything on both sides of the ball. But I got to give a huge shout out again to D'Angelo Russell. I mean, we were flailing at best offensively, and he was able to catch fire. And, man, he put us on his back offensively and put us back in position to have a chance to close the gap, eclipse it, and walk away with the win. You know, if D'Lo doesn't play the way he played, we don't win this game.
Mark.
Hey, Darvin, another one on 80. What's the medical staff said on how he's been hanging in with his hip issues and all that?
Well, he's hanging in there, man. You know, it's definitely hurting, but it's something that's not, you know, something that's going to keep him out. We just have to manage it the best we can, and it's constant around-the-clock treatment.
Darvin, you just mentioned D'Lo, but those 3 threes in the middle of the fourth before he fouled out, how critical was that stretch of the game? And he had kind of been having a quiet game up to that point, and then he unleashes with those 3.
It was huge. You know, he laughs and we joke. You know, it's like he said, I can miss 5 in a row and I can go turn around and make 10 in a row. And I was actually thinking about that as he was knocking them down. But, you know, just him just staying ready to be aggressive, staying ready in attack mode. We need that, just like we needed Vando's energy early. And Vando knocked down a couple of corner threes. You know, his presence, his activity on Ja, it's obviously not an easy matchup by any stretch of the imagination. And Dennis's his performance defensively with Ja. I mean, we just got contributions from all over the place. And, you know, D'Lo, again, right at the top of that list, along with Bron and several others, that allowed us to get in a position to come out on top.
Yeah, Darvin, even after all this time, do you find yourself amazed at LeBron? Do you ever say wow while you're watching him?
Oh, absolutely. But at the same time, we can always get better. And when we break down our film.
Through that overtime and just the defense that it took to get it done and just that electric atmosphere, felt like a Game 7, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we did a great job just competing, you know, in overtime. Everybody scrambling, giving everything we have. And I think that's the reason why we won. Shout out to AD, Bron, D'Lo, before he got fouled out, hitting those 3 threes. Big time for us. AR, of course. I mean, it's a great team effort. And, yeah, it's first to 4. Now we go into Memphis and try to close it out.
Yeah, it's those things that people won't talk about a lot, right? Like Rui coming off the bench, making some big-time defensive plays, Bron with 20 rebounds.
Yeah, I mean, everybody chipping in, everybody doing their job. And if we do that, you know, we're really hard to beat. And we just got to do it game by game, possession by possession. And then we'll be really good.
Darvin praised your effort on the defensive end. What was your mentality on that end of the court tonight?
I mean, Ja is difficult coverage. He's a great player. But, I mean, we're doing, like I said, it was a team effort. Everybody shifting when he plays pick and roll. Everybody helping me and Vando starts on him. You know, just competing on the highest level, try to get stops. Of course, you're going to make some tough ones, but luckily we got the dub tonight.
You had mentioned coming back to LA to feel this crowd. Have you felt that the last 2 games?
For sure. Great home crowd. I mean, we didn't have that, when I was here first time, it was like 7,000 people for the playoffs. And I mean, right now, it's a great atmosphere. They carried us as well. And we just got to keep it going.
More to come on Access. D'Angelo Russell fouled out, but not before 3 big three-pointers in the fourth quarter. Lakers take a 3-1 lead in round 1. We'll hear from D'Lo on the other side.
Try to get stops. Of course, you're going to make some tough ones, but luckily we got the dub tonight.
You had mentioned coming back to LA to feel this crowd. Have you felt that the last 2 games?
For sure. Great home crowd. I mean, we didn't have that, when I was here first time, it was like 7,000 people for the play.
There's going to be moments, and you had yours, those 9 straight points. Just kind of take us through those couple of minutes to get the team back in it.
It was just free flowing, honestly. I think it just kind of happened, being in the right place at the right time, to get an opportunity to make something happen, take advantage of it. Simple as that.
How has round 2 been for you in a Laker uniform, especially you think of these last 2 games at home, playoff atmosphere? I know you've been a part of a lot of big things, Kobe's last game, but it's been pretty electric.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Laker fan, honestly. I tell my people that. Never been a team fan because you're actually in it, but to be through the storm and be here again and get to witness some of the things I witnessed, it's fair to say that I'm a fan. But it's good, honestly. They treat me really well with open arms, welcoming me since I've been here. It's been a good feeling.
How physical has this series been through 4 games, obviously playoffs?
It's good. It's what you expect. They're a tough team. They've been physical all year, so to get the opportunity to match their physicality and get the win at the same time is always a good feeling.
D'Angelo had such a big fourth quarter in game 3, and tonight you guys kind of walled them off. How were you able to do that?
I mean, he's good. He does it every night. I mean, it's hard to stop that dude. He's making jump shots. He's getting to the free throw line at the rate that he's doing. It's still hard to stop him. So it's a team effort. I think we're making them feel us, in the paint, off screens, whenever we can, we're making them feel us, and the results, and that's been a win, so it's cool.
You guys still haven't been together all that long, but how's it felt?
Imagine training camp or something, it was like, right?
Yeah, but how about like these last 3 weeks from the plan, or 2.5 weeks from the plan through these first 4 games? Does it feel like it kind of warp speeds the chemistry or the battle-tested nature of it?
When it's working, yeah. When it's not working, obviously, you see the growing pains that we haven't had the chance to overcome. But with the talent that we have and some of the guys that we have here, I think it makes up and it speeds up the process.
Darvin, unprompted, brought you up for heating up when the team was struggling to get anything going and saying that really turned things around for the team tonight. What was kind of going through your head when nobody was getting anything going and you just kind of took over there?
I mean, it's hard to answer what was going through my head being in it. But honestly, you just kind of try to take what the game's giving you. Every game's different. Being in a position where you can either score or pass, just take what the game's giving you. Tonight, kind of made some shots when it mattered, and that's what we're talking about now. But I try to do whatever it takes.
That's there.
Start us off.
LeBron, we've seen the drives to the hoop and finishes a lot of times before to force OT and then late in OT, either side of the paint. But first time in your career, 20 rebounds. Just wondered where you found the legs for that and then still managed to get to the rim and finish.
I don't know where I found the legs, honestly, but understanding how great of a rebounding team they are, it's very important that we try to clean glass when they miss. I know we still, gave up 16 offensive rebounds for 24 second chance points, so we still got to do a better job of that, but, just trying to do my part.
Can you recall a playoff game, where you were lining up to take multiple charges in a fourth quarter, and just your overall approach to tonight, getting the rebounds, low turnovers, charges, blocks, things of that nature? This is an example of how you will do what the game dictates.
That's always been me. Whatever it takes for the team to be successful, and, just trying to be as great as I can be offensively, but even more important on the defensive end. And So that was the kind of the mindset tonight. And I was able to make a couple plays to help us be successful.
LeBron, this deep into your career, there aren't a lot of firsts left to accomplish, but a 2020 game, this is the first one you've ever had. Was it just sort of kind of the night sort of dictated it? And then I guess moving forwards, what do you think it's going to take to close this team out in Memphis?
I don't know. I mean, obviously the game is played, and you have to be able to adjust to how the game is being played and try to make plays and, defensive rebound and offensive rebound. And, you get an opportunity to get in there and get scrappy, obviously, versus this team, you go and do it. And, the closeout game is always the hardest game of a series. It's the most tiring one. It's the most brutal one, and we better be ready for it. And I think we'll be ready for it.
LeBron, that last bucket you had to make it 113-108, you turned to the crowd, you're screaming and flexing. Can you take us to the emotion of that moment and kind of sealing the game?
I mean, I just, you know how momentum plays are made, and you've been a part of moments where you know that you can kind of get like a, kind of a dagger play or a kill shot, and I feel like that play right there, after I was able to make that and one kind of, I won't say close the door, but it sealed it a little bit. It wasn't much light at the end for that particular, for the rest of the game. So just letting the emotion come out, and the fans was once again, top-notch tonight for a second consecutive game.
Hi, Brian. Couple of questions. One is, when you get it up over Jaren Jackson Jr., is that the highest you've had to throw it up over someone to get it to bank in a layup there? And also, the last timeout that you called, I think you and Darvin were calling it at the same time. Was that fatigue? Was that just people needed breath, or just you just knowing the moment?
Well, I mean, I work on different layup packages. Tier 1 is a layup just right underneath the rim where you lay it off the glass. Tier 2 is like the middle of the glass or the middle of the square. And then Tier 3 is over top of the square. Shout out to Chris Johnson. We work on those depending on the shot blocker. So I've had moments where I've been able to scoop those high layups. One to come to mind is, I don't remember which finals it was, but in Golden State, I was able to drive right, keep the ball in my right hand, and underhand scoop it high over KD in a game. You remember that play, right, Dave? Yeah, 17, yeah. So it's not the first time I've done it. Oh, yeah, I was burnt. Meaning I was exhausted. Sorry. I apologize. Sorry.
LeBron, when you're in those moments late in the game, when you are exhausted and you need to find another level, how do you do that?
You just dig deep and understand that you'll be able to sleep at some point, just not right now. And this is not the time to rest or, forget about an assignment. You'll have more than enough time after the game and the next day to kind of rest and try to decompress as much as possible. So I just dig deep and just try to, just make plays. That's all.
LeBron, do you ever amaze or surprise yourself?
Yep. When?
Did that happen tonight?
When my teammates told me I had 20 and 20, I had no idea that I had 20 and 20. And it's the first time I've done it in my career. I've done some pretty good, cool things in my career. I've never had 20 and 20 before, so that was pretty cool, I guess.
Rachel. LeBron, we were joking in the locker room that not only did you have 20 and 20, you broke a 50-year-old record. You're the oldest player to do that. Wilt did it 50 years ago. How is it meaningful to you that you're doing new things at this age?
just trying to keep my body in the best possible, shape to go out and perform. And these are the moments that I love. I love the postseason. I've been a part of a lot of the games. I just love being able to make plays and be out there with my teammates to give them experiences that they may, never had before. This is Austin's first playoff series, and we was talking after the game, and he was just talking about how much he loved, this. Like he said, it's the greatest thing he's ever been a part of, like basketball-wise. He said something else, but I can't repeat it. But and that brought a lot of joy to me, that I could be in a position where I can be a part of someone's experience, that this is the greatest thing basketball-wise they've ever done. That's pretty cool to me.
Last two, Malika will end with Melissa.
LeBron, the last possession of regulation, Anthony Davis comes up with that huge block, and you have the nearly full court shot that doesn't quite. Could you just walk us through all of that?
Well, I knew it was 0.8 on the game clock, and I did not see obviously as soon as AD blocked it, I just kind of caught it and threw it just in case, just in case. Obviously, excuse me, after I saw it was well after the red light around the backboard, but you just never know. So I guess you play into the clock and after, I guess.
Last question, Melissa.
Hey, Bron. Obviously, you guys were underdogs entering this series. Is it a mistake for this team ever to be considered underdogs when you're healthy and when AD is healthy?
Nah, we still are. We didn't play to our capabilities this year for an 82-game season, and that's the reason why it is. And so, but we don't really talk about it. We just go out and understand what our assignments are. Understand in order for us to win what we have to do offensively and defensively, and then just try to go out and execute it for as close to 48 minutes as possible. And we're playing against a great team, in the Memphis Grizzlies. So we got to do it again for 48 minutes or 53. Whatever the game calls us for, we got to be able to do it again. And but it's going to be extremely tough because they're really, 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 really damn good.
You and, of course, the team, but you personally had to spend a lot of time on, Ja. Just talk about the adjustment you guys made from game 3 to 4.
I think we was getting into him. The game plan with today was to get more into him. I think last game we started off good, but then we kind of took a body off him by going under too much. So I think today we're just trying to be more physical with him and pushing him over the screens and stuff like that, and showing him more of a crowd. Even in space with anybody, whoever's guarding him, he's super talented. So I think the thing was just to load the paint up and just try to throw a lot of bodies at him.
How electric was that crowd last 2 games for you guys?
It was amazing. I think they kind of brought us back in the game when we needed them. They started us off when we got us going to start the game. So like I said, shout out to the fans and everybody in attendance. They really got us going.
You were able to get it going offensively tonight. How important was that in the first half?
I think it was important, for me to just be aggressive, especially with how they playing me. So I think that kind of just set the tone. If they're going to do heavy shift off me, I got to be aggressive and, make a play or shoot the ball or, whatever the case may be. So I think they kind of set the tone about how the game went.
You're credited for being kind of one of those guys who do just about a little bit of everything that the team needs. What do you make of LeBron kind of filling that role tonight, too, the rebounding, the drawing charges?
Man, that's just a testament to, to who he is and, what he's about. He's about winning. And, he did whatever he needed to do to win tonight. And that was, rebounding, getting 20 boards or getting the block or even a last-second box out or he took 2 charges on Ja Morant. Those are just winning plays. And when you got your, when your leader's kind of doing that, everybody just kind of follows suit, and he set the tone for that. So it was great.
Jared, what do you say from AD trying to fight through his hooks?
Man, he was a dog. We knew he didn't really feel it all the way tonight, but he fought through it. And he showed resilience, and he came up and made a big play to even start the overtime. So that's like I said, it's a testament to who he is too. He just, he put team first, and he gave us all he had tonight.
After 31 and 17 in Game 3, your numbers don't reflect
the standard you've been able to perform in this series, but how do you feel walking away from Game 4 knowing that you had the block on Ja at the end of the fourth quarter and then were able to make plays in overtime?
I feel really good. And I'm all about getting wins, no matter how I do it, how we do it. Things not gonna always be perfect. Sometimes you got to win ugly. Sometimes you don't play well, but still try to leave your imprint on the game. And that's what I try to do tonight on the defensive end. Had some good looks, missed them, but still try to do the little things to help the team win.
One of the things that you guys obviously won a title together, you and LeBron, but one of the things you guys didn't get to experience was the emotion of big wins and big plays and big moments here. What was it like to kind of see him hit that? I guess he called it maybe like a game-sealing layup, and both of you guys just huge roars. Can you just kind of describe the emotions of that moment?
Man, it's fun. This is fun. Going to overtime. We didn't play well as a unit. Obviously, they had some guys who made shots. And then going to overtime and able to get a victory. Get the game-winning, game-sealing layup by him, the and one. And it's the energy of the crowd. Our fans have been phenomenal. So we kind of just feed off of them. And like you said, we didn't get that opportunity when we were on our playoff run in the bubble. You do it, but it's like you're doing it to no one, or the fans that was on the screen. But to have it here, sellout crowd, 20,000, it's unbelievable.
Mark?
Hey, D, how's your hip holding up overall right now, and what were the things you're trying to do to fight through all that through the course of the game?
Just wanted to play. It's been bothering me probably like a week and a half now. But there's no way I was coming out. Just try to give whatever I could to the team. I'll be fine though. We do what we're supposed to do Wednesday, then I get a couple days to kind of let it calm down and get back to normal. But take care of it tonight, tomorrow, and get ready for Wednesday's game.
Yeah, AD, in the bubble, you guys closed out 3 series in Game 5. Obviously a little different there. They would have been on your home court, but they weren't. In this case, it's in Memphis. Just wondered your sense of a closeout game against this type of team and how significant the chance to get the chance at it after tonight's victory.
Yeah, it's a desperate team, and they play desperate. They play with a lot of energy, a lot of effort, make plays. That environment is very hostile. They support their team very well. We know that we can win there. We've done it. And, closeout games are always the toughest, especially when you're on the road. So our mindset, our attention to detail has to be ultra locked in. We can't go in and have a slow starter or mess around with the game, because then we'd be coming back here for Game 6. So, we did what we were supposed to do at home. Was able to still win in Memphis, Game 1. So now, we got to come in with a defensive mindset, and taking it one possession at a time.
Melissa?
Hey, D. During your guys' championship run in 2020, you struggled with being your own worst critic when you weren't playing up to what you considered your standard. Tonight, when the game wasn't going your way, you kept fighting through that and had a couple of huge plays down the line. How have you grown in that sense, just in terms of your mentality?
I'm still my own worst critic, man. I'm very hard on myself. You always want to play well, but things don't go that way, and I've kind of, embedded that in my mind that, you're not always going to play perfect, you're not always going to make a shot or make shots, but you can always control the little things you do, energy, effort, rebounding, blocking shots, defending, things like that. So setting screens so guys can get open. And when that, goes away, then, that's when you kind of don't leave your imprint on the game. So even though I wasn't making shots, I still wanted to leave my imprint and do the little things, the intangibles, that don't really show up on the stat sheet. But I just keep fighting. I just keep playing no matter what, knowing that at any moment, you can make a shot. At any moment, you can make a play that changes the way the game is going and help the team win. So that's been my mindset just how I've been playing.
AD, you guys held Ja to 19 points on 8 of 24 shooting. Obviously, less points than he scored in the fourth quarter alone last game. What adjustments did you feel like you guys made that kind of worked tonight in terms of limiting him?
I think last game he just got going. When you get going, you see the ball go through the basket. Confidence gets bigger. The rim gets bigger. He had 6 threes last night, the other night. So I think our guards did a good job of being into the ball. Just making it tough for him, pressuring him. Putting him in action on the defensive end where he's not, just on the defensive end relaxing. He's getting hit, he's in the action, which take away your legs a little bit, especially when you have the ball, that much like you do. So it was really on the guards, Dennis, Vando, Austin, them guys just being physical with them and making it tough for him all night.
Time for 2 more for remaining. The gentleman in the back.
Hey, D. Jaren Jackson is one of the few guys who kind of brings some of the similar physical attributes and skills that you do to the floor. What's it been like playing in this series against a guy who kind of does some of the similar things to you?
We haven't really guarded each other that much this series. But yeah, he's able to, space the floor with his shooting ability. He put the ball on the ground. His post-ups, elite shot blocker, one defensive player of the year. So he brings a lot to their team. He's definitely a threat anytime he's on the floor, and so it's been fun. Obviously right now, the opponent is the enemy, and don't want to give him too much credit, but anytime he steps on the floor from all 3 levels, he's a threat.
Thanks,